Welcome to the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the original food service equipment repair podcast built by technicians for technicians. Whether you're on the front lines of repair, keeping the kitchen running smoothly, or just passionate about the food service repair industry, this podcast is your go-to source for expert insight, tech tips, and real stories from the field. Everything said on the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles comes straight from the hosts and guests and does not represent the views of their employers, companies, or partners. We're here to share real stories, real experiences, and real opinions. Take it as insight, not as official policy. What is going on, everybody?
Hold on. I would like to say the things I say on this show do in fact represent the views and opinions of my employer and company. I would just like to clear that out there real quick.
It took my breath away there. That was good. I didn't see that one coming. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. As you can tell already, Rich is on, and Rich is feeling spicy tonight. We have Mr. We have Joe back. This is I think number 3 for Joe. I think the only person that's been on more than Joe is Brian, but Brian just jumps on anytime we throw a link out there, so he just likes coming on to talk. So, welcome back, Joe. It's always good to see you and interact with you. And we were talking earlier backstage about I've been trying to follow your social media a lot more, your YouTube. I like your YouTube because you don't edit it. You just kind of put it out there, what you see, what you say as you go. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You're like, it's going out. If I make a mistake, someone will tell me in the comments. I'll either fix it or they're an idiot, one of the two. So I like your approach.
Yeah, it's the best way to be, because whether you are laughing with me or laughing at me, you're here watching. So isn't that the point?
Yeah, I was watching your video about the hood, and you're like, screw this. I'm just running conduit from here to here. I was like, I knew that was coming. It's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. It's too cramped in that kitchen. I gotta get this thing running. I can spend 20 minutes. I can spend 20 minutes to do this, or I can like ruin someone's day downstairs. I'm gonna go get a step bit, drill a couple holes, and fish a conduit over there and just be done with it. And I like it. I like it.
Well, I didn't show, but the rest of the hoods, that's how they were. There's 4 other hoods, and they all just whipped over. So I'm like, okay, matching set.
Yeah. Yep. So, first, before we get too far ahead, I want to thank AMBRO Controls for sponsoring this episode. Stay tuned. Later this week, the guys at AMBRO are launching their new Oxy Kits, and brazing just got better. They replaced the popular Oxy set with a new Oxy Precision Kit. It's got the same portability as the original, but the dedicated precision torch that gives you more control for detailed HVACR repairs and jobs in tight places. Also, the new AMBRO stable. New in the AMBRO stable, geez, Pat, is the Oxy Max Kit, a complete commercial HVACR brazing solution featuring a larger caddy, 3 torch sizes, precision, pro, and power, giving you the versatility to braze everything from 1/8 to 3-inch pipe, as well as weld, cut, and heat, all with one portable system. Whether you need pinpoint precision or maximum performance, AMBRO Controls has you covered. Visit their website and check out their new range. So I've got the new Precision. So what it is, it's the same kit, but instead of buying the standard kit and then buying the Precision torch is what most guys are after, you can just get it in one kit. So you're not buying 2 things now. So it comes with the caddy, the Precision torch, and the tanks. And it's pretty cool. I use it all the time. People laugh at me for using that little torch, and I'm like, dude, I'm brazing like 7/8 of this thing. I got a walk-in evaporator I'm gonna install probably next week, and I was like, dude, I'll braze it all with that. I don't care. It works. I mean, it's a little bit of investment. The tanks are a little, you can get them at United, you can pick them up at Johnstone and stuff, but you gotta kind of look around a little bit. But it works out pretty good for me, so I can't complain.
Yeah, and I'll jump on it right in. And I'm not sponsored by AMBRO, but that's actually what I carry and use. I just made an Ironman backpack, right? So I've got a backpack that I get all set up, and then I can put it on and hold my torch and just climb in the evap and do my thing. And the Precision torch is nice too. It's like a jeweler's torch, man. It is real small.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a jeweler's torch. It's just a small kit. I mean, Mike B in the comment section said, he's tired of burning wires and tight reach-ins, dude. And nowadays reach-ins are better than before. But I mean, 10 years ago, every Delfield reach-in, what was inside of that thing? That blue plastic or that gray plastic, and you'd melt it. You'd look at it wrong with a torch and you'd melt it. And I wish I had something like this, 10 years ago. Because there's a lot of coolers and freezers that got melted melted panels behind the evaporators. I ain't gonna lie. So what's going on, man? What's new in Joe's world?
Well, I would be remiss to not start with this for Rich and say after 2 visits, I have to officially tell Rich, and he knows what's coming, and you, that I do charge overtime rates at this point. Because that was the joke, right?
Yeah.
So just again, if you know, right? I started a company. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. We're not going to charge overtime. I respond to emergencies because they're emergencies, not because it's not the customer's fault. And I seem to remember some wise people with a lot of mileage saying like, people are going to really take advantage of that. And I'm like, I can control that. I can keep that under wraps. And now I just charge overtime. So, Rich, salute you, sir. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it serves a couple purposes. It makes it worth your while going out, but it also weeds out the nuisance stuff that can really wait till Monday or Tuesday. I mean, we had some customers, we didn't charge overtime rates, and they were an hour and a half from the shop, which is 2.5 hours from me. And they'd call Sunday for 1 fryer down when they had 7 fryers. I'm like, yeah, that's not an emergency. I know you're a wing place, but dude, you've got 6 other fryers. Like, your time can go up 30 seconds to a minute per order. Like, you'll be all right. Nope, you got to come. And they didn't pay truck charge, nothing. They pay straight. Like, I'm out there, like, we are losing money paying me 2.5 hours double time to drive there, 2.5 hours to drive back, and whatever I fix it, we are losing money. Like, this does not make sense. So
yeah,
that customer went away, thank God.
Yeah, the recurring theme to every time I come, it's like I keep learning these hard lessons, and it'd be better if I just learn them all at once. But I'm a slow learner, I guess. So, with the best of intentions, right? With the best of intentions, it's all a living experiment. That's what we've always said every time I'm on here. I keep getting it sorted out.
Yeah, and you started off a little differently though, because you were partnering with a franchise owner. So you started off just doing nerd work primarily, and then kind of branched out to more and more and more, right?
Right. So my
overtime
franchise,
thing, the overtime thing
franchise.
was like, oh, okay, I'm working for them. It is what it is. And then, it probably just grew, and other people started taking advantage of that situation and put you in. And it's like, well, eventually enough's enough. Like,
right. Well, the difference between, and again, I'm super blessed. I'm a small company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my owners text me, right? I mean, I've got a service call system, but let's be honest, they text me before they use the service call system most of the time. And we had to have some real, like, reasonable expectations conversations. Because like you just said, the difference between an inconvenience, even a pretty good inconvenience, and an emergency needs to be established, because I am customer, right? So again, not business owner, but the buck stops with me, right? I mean, I operate the business as the business owner. So when the emergency, Joe's going, it doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Buck stops with me. And so I've had to have those conversations on, 6:15 on the 4th of July, when my walk-in cooler's been down all day. When can you get out here? And I'm like, I don't know if it's better or worse that you told me it's been down all day, right? Like, at least if I didn't know, but yeah. And so we just had to have, listen, what's the reasonable expectation, right? If the expectation is for me to drop what I'm doing no matter what and meet your needs, I could do that. But there's a fiscal attachment to it. It's not, the infamous saying, and I love it, stuck from visit 1 with you, is that, our product, our service is for sale. It's not on sale.
Yep.
So, it's good. And I don't say it like a complaint. I'm still super great. And I don't actually we do schedule someone on that 6th day. I can always run service calls on Saturday under normal rates, to be honest, because I've got 3 technicians now. And,
nice.
And so we have the ability to stagger people and make that happen. But I just, again, that was the big joke with you guys all along. Like, this kid doesn't know what he's doing. Like, he'll learn. Yeah, I learned. You're right. So.
Yeah, it's just part of the game, learning and growing. I mean, everyone tries to do things, put their own spin on everything. You 2 are business owners. I work for a big major conglomerate, and I got to follow their rules. Some I love and some I despise. I mean, but that's just part of the game. You're gonna have things you love and hate about everywhere you're at. Even Rich, like, he loves what he does, but he hates the office work. I think he's asleep.
Which he's doing the office work on his phone right now.
I'm reaching out to a customer about a delay having a repair right now. Actually, yeah,
You're good.
I'm
You're
listening
good.
to y'all,
But you know, you're talking about the walk-in thing. Like, is that a good or bad thing? I told you've been down all day. Like, that's a bad thing. Like, and I don't know why customers do that. You know, you get the infamous walk-in freezer. It's 40 degrees. I'm like, how big is it? What's in it? Like, that thing's been down 3 days.
Right.
Like 40 degrees in a walk-in freezer takes days to get to. Unless you're just in and out of that thing nonstop, it takes days to get to 40 degrees. At least 2 days. Like
Or
you
the
didn't.
or the front of the coil, right? That was this
Yeah.
Saturday's emergency. Was there was an 1.5 inch thick on the front of the cooler coil. Well, that means it's been doing that for 2 weeks. You know.
Well, and you go there and you look, and like you look at the temperature log, and you know you're there at 2 PM, but at 11 o'clock they wrote 5 degrees. I'm like, it's 40 degrees. No, it wasn't 5 degrees. No, oh, we swear it was. I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, you didn't even look. You just wrote a random number down. Like,
yeah,
we thought it would work itself out.
I love it. Right? Oh, it would fix itself. Sometimes it fixes itself.
But at 4:45 p.m., we realized it wouldn't.
yeah, that's the good ones, man. So, you know, you've got a pretty strict customer base still. Are you still doing the same few chains, or are you guys branching out into some other stuff now? Or, and we don't have to mention names.
No, you're good.
I
don't mind. So you have caught me. If you're following again the restaurant repairs YouTube thing, it's a new location every day, and they're rough.
Yeah.
We very fortunately, you know, I was connected with a large conglomerate who owns a whole bunch of breakfast joints, and they had gotten they knew someone in a Zaxby's, right? I primarily serve Zaxby's and Dairy Queen. And they knew an operator of a Zaxby's who spoke highly of me. And they were mentioning that they had a quote for like $8,000 to replace a Train 7.5 ton compressor on an AC unit. And the dining room, yeah, you heard it. And so in the dining room was 90 degrees, and it was the 3rd of July. And this was my first introduction to these guys. That was a Friday. And I was like, okay, I mean, let me go out there. Right. And it was just a contactor. You know, now I have no doubt the compressor windings were open. I'm going to assume, right? Let's not say malice. Let's say mistakes. I'm sure the compressor windings were open when he was there. And so he just went, oh, bad compressor. But you could look at the contactor and see it just completely melted. You know, you could test it across and go, man, come on. So I slapped a contactor in it and sent him a couple $100 bill. And, you know, oh my gosh, like that's all it was. And so we started a whole conversation about, could I handle their quantity of stores, which the answer is no. I cannot, right? There's 3 of us and we're already, you know, it's 40 Zaxby's, 40 Dairy Queens, another 40 Vietnamese places, you know, pizza shop, whatever, the couple, you know, places we're tied up. But this group, you know, saw the value, and we got on a couple conference calls and are like, what would it take for us to be, you know, part of the team? And I was just honest with them. I'm like, I won't serve you well. And so, you know, we partnered with them to say, well, you know, what if we helped subsidize bringing on more employees, right? We value what you're doing so much that what if part of our rates were part of your training costs of a new employee? Like, what a blessing. You want to find that person to work for, right?
Oh yeah.
And so, and not just from the fiscal perspective, but from they value what we're doing. There's already a trust relationship there. And so we had a lot of working out what that was going to look like. And we are in like week 3 of that, trying to fix it, because I clearly don't have another person yet. And yet I'm plus, you know, 24 locations that are in shambles and have been completely neglected for the last 10 years. And if you've seen the videos, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh. So it's great work. But I just, you know, anytime you're picking up more customers, you know, I've done it organically so I don't fail. And so if I just went out there and gave my business card to everyone I ever met, and all of a sudden I had 300 clients, pretty soon I'd have 50 because I'd fail 2/3 of them. And that's what I really fear the most. But the honesty and the openness with them, you know, what we're good at is prioritizing by urgency, and what they are is understanding about that. So, hey, my heat lamps aren't working, and that's unfortunate. And, you know, it is big, but they can also go to YouTube and see the other nonsense I did today and realize they didn't beat those in the queue. So, but to answer your question, yeah, we've picked up a pretty big group. That's a huge blessing. And I'm not exactly sure how we're going to manage that, but what I'm sure is that we're going to figure it out, because that's just what you do.
Yeah, that's a blessing and a curse. I mean, it's both of both. Like you said, you don't want to grow too fast where you can't handle it all, and then everybody hates you, and then you get that out there.
Right.
Well, he couldn't keep up. He couldn't do this. But be like, hey, I can be the guy to give you a second opinion. I can be the guy to double check this if you don't think this is right. It's a great opportunity to get some more work, to build that relationship, and to build that trust with them. So you said you have 3 techs under you now?
So technically 4, but so we have one. I had 3 last time we talked, but one of them is strictly internal to my owner's stores. So he's not technically on my payroll, right? He's not Meadowbrook Solutions out there running calls, but he is doing all of the in-house work up to where he can, right?
Nice.
So if now I have 2 technicians in vans, Meadowbrook Solutions, out running calls with me. Young guys, my young gun who I got originally, his name's Brian. He's been with me. I think this is year 3 now, starting. And what a neat opportunity to watch somebody blossom from everything's scary, and you protect him and send him, where I know he can win every time. And then I lost that ability with busyness, and it was like, okay, used to be I wouldn't send him unless I already knew after talking to the customer what he was walking into.
Mm-hmm.
I know what he's going to find. I know he can get through it. And then I hit the point where I'm like, hey, I just need you to go. I don't know, the walk-in's down. I have no clue, go figure it out. And crazy enough, when you kick a baby bird out of the nest, he flies. And so another tough lesson learned, waiting too long to give them a little bit of that freedom to be successful on their own. And so he's a huge blessing. And then I really needed to bring on another person. But if I was being honest, at that time, it wasn't peak season. Earlier this year, we were busy, but I'm always fearful, right? Again, as the business operator, I'm looking at P&Ls and I'm looking at profit margins, and I'm going, I can't eat another 9 months of training somebody,
Mm-hmm.
And then we had an interesting idea of floor cleaning, right? So at least at my locations, I did some videos on it. I didn't pound that drum too bad, but Zaxby's, right? My Zaxby's floors suck, right? You can clean them, and the next day they suck. They're slippery, they're greasy. The grout, it just has grease in it. You can clean it all you want, but the second you run a wet mop over it, it's just always slick. It's always a fall hazard. As the facility manager of the group, of our restaurant group, I always tried to manage that, to avoid loss.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what if we bought the Boss $5,000-$6,000 commercial floor cleaning machine? Because to have I got a quote, it was like, and we know guys on LinkedIn, on social media, or I had friends with these guys who do that, but it's $3,500 or it's $4,000 for them to come out and clean the floors. And an owner's just not going to do it.
No.
So I'm like, well, we own 8 stores. If I buy this machine and we charge ourselves $1,000 to do this per store, I've paid for the machine. Oh, and then I've paid for the guy who uses it 1 day a week, his whole week's training.
Mm-hmm.
And so it allowed me to bring on a trainee that paid for himself, if that makes sense, right? There was no business expense to carry him, because we do this floor cleaning a week. Once the machine was paid for, that covers his weekly salary. And now all the hours he's riding around with me and not making money, it doesn't matter, because he actually already created that revenue. And so that allowed me to bring him on. And he is a brilliant young mind who I've known for a long time, very problem solving. And so it was 0 time. I mean, I think I was 3 weeks and I was onto the baby bird thing. I'm like, I showed you how to fix fryers, right? 40 Zaxby's, 6 fryers. That's 240 fryers in my world every single day. You can now fix a fryer. You're handling all the fryer calls, and off he goes. Right. And it's like, what a blessing that is, right? He is not EPA certified. He does not understand the refrigeration circuit, and that's okay, because I've got 240 fryers in my world that need love every single day.
No, that's the way to do it. I sent my son to the Cefeza electrical training, which he learned a whole lot. And then we have a customer that's got a bunch of like very basic, electrical powered equipment. And I was like, there you go. That's what you're gonna do. That's how you're gonna earn your pay when you're not on an install or something big like that. Yeah, that's the exact way to do it. Teach them one good thing or one basic thing that you're seeing multiple times a day, and let them go run 3-4 of those calls a day and earn their living. And then you can train them, as they got that foundation, you can add other stuff to it.
Well, that's the good thing about your world is, Zaxby's uses the same fryers, don't they? It's the same fryer in every location.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's like you can spend a week just fryer calls. I'm like, okay, this is your world now. Like if you run into something, call me. If I can't figure it out, we can reach out to the manufacturer. But you have 240 of the same exact fryers. You have 120 of the same exact filter systems. You have it's repetition. As long as you don't get burned out and want to hate life because you work on the same 240 fryers all day long.
Right. Well, and we're also really lucky because we're full facility service.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Being so tied into Zaxby's, and that's why my pricing structure is under my local price. And I raised it up, but my hourly rates and all that are still below what I'm going to call market average for refrigeration tech. Because, and I explain this to my customers, right? But hear me out, Rich.
Nope.
But because
I can't wait for part 4. Hey, Rich,
right, there you go.
My rates.
But here's the thing, and I am going to raise my rates. But the thing with this is that I am an absolute steal of a value when Joe shows up and fixes your reach in or fixes your ice cream machine, right? But when your toilet isn't flushing and you need a new vacuum break, they're paying the same thing they're paying a refrigeration tech. So I'm priced at that sweet point where I got a phone call today to come remove a door because they need to fix flooring, right? We've got, this light switch isn't working. There's no sense. You're not going to call your local refrigeration company to come out and do the things that we do. But because we're full service, which allows me to hire in underlings that aren't EPA certified, who can change. I mean, the amount of faucets and sinks and TNS brass stuff we deal with, right? Because again, every Zaxby's has the same sprayer, the same 3-comp sink, the same, drains, the same caisson closers and hinges. So it allows us to capture all of it. I had an operator's like, hey, we failed an inspection because the truck ran out. The delivery truck jumped our curb and chipped the edge of the curb. Is that something you do? Well, I mean, yeah, we do that because trucks jump our curbs all the time. And then that's an inspection problem for Zaxby's. And so that's a weird fix. But that's why my pricing is what it is, because I want everything so that I can get low hanging fruit and be the one call for all the stuff.
What if I told you could charge market rates and still get everything?
You're right. So you're 100% right. Right.
So have you called a plumber? Because plumbers are far more expensive than we are.
Right. Yeah. No, you're.
Yeah, I get it. I understand what the thing is. Like, you want to be the one-stop shop, and I get that. When I first started where I'm at now, I was up in Fort Wayne, and we had a chain of Fazoli's, dude, and we'd hang restroom partitions, we'd patch curves, we'd paint curbs yellow. I mean, it didn't matter what it was. They called, we had to go do it. And I was like, this is miserable. I mean, but it taught me a lot of things I didn't know. But
well, what Rich is 100% right about, and again, it's recurring themes every time, is this metamorphosis of, I'm just going to say it, right? I mean, this is the place for honest truth, right?
Oh yeah.
We had the reality a little bit ago. I had a group leave me. I had a group where we had a difference of opinion and some disappointing moments on both sides, and a restaurant owner, just disappeared, which is fine. I get it. There was validity in why he left. I wish we could have talked about it, but it was what it was. that person came back a short time later, and I knew a lot of people in their organization. And what I knew from those people in the organization is, man, we called so-and-so, and they were out here 4 times, and it cost us $1,800 to fix this fryer. And it was a giant headache. And that's why they wanted to come back. And I told them that I filled their slots. I'm like, it's not personal. It wasn't personal when you left. It was business.
Right.
It's not personal that I'm not taking you back. We're a small company with a finite amount of slots, and I filled them with people who understand the value of what we're doing. And it was in that kind of process where, every customer I have, I stole from someone else. That's just a fact, right? And I constantly remind my guys of that. It only takes a minute of one miscommunication and one mistake. When Johnny's Repair walks in the front door and they're pissed off at Joe, and they go, "Oh, you fix fryers too? Give me your card." And then he stole them from us, right? So it's trying to be in that relationship with the people that they understand you're there for them, and vice versa. You're never going to be the only person in town. That would be dumb, right? There's times when I won't be able to get there, and they're going to need redundancy. But I stole all those people from someone else for pretty common sense reasons most of the time, right? I stole this giant group of this breakfast club for pretty dumb, obvious reasons. And if they didn't value that relationship enough to be honest with them, then it's like, I'll take it. And that's when I learned, like, to these customers, we're the prize, right? It's a relationship. I need them and they need me. But the days of the Dairy Queen operator telling me, "Well, I have 7 locations. Can't you give me a better price?" No. Good luck finding someone to serve your 7 locations well. These are my prices, and this is what it is, and I'm happy to serve you. But the leverage isn't with the operator to the service provider solely, just like it's not solely with the service provider to the operator. Because if you're going to go around to be a jerk and go, "I'm the greatest," you're going to pay my prices and you're going to like it because I'm just the greatest. Maybe some will, but eventually they're just going to hate your attitude and move on. So it's finding that point where I'm at to go, I appreciate my operators, and my operators appreciate me, and they understand the value of what we get. And they understand, like, again, backstage, we're talking about when an expensive repair comes across the table, and it's like, "I'm sorry, this was a $1,200 control board in your milkshake machine." And they go, "I understand." Because they know I didn't show up and they needed a belt, and instead I sold them a board. And so that's also been part of the game in the last 6 months, is figuring out, man, our value is much greater than I give it credit for, and much greater than I charge for. And as long as I can, I want to hold that line.
Yeah.
I want to hold that
You
line.
you just made every argument of why you need to raise your rates.
I hear you. No, I hear you. I hear you.
I mean,
And
you that argument about raising your rates or not was lost when you said it was a $7,000 quote and I changed the contactor.
right.
You know what I mean? Right then and there, your bill could have been 3 times what you charged them, and it still was a value. Obviously, you're not going to inflate, screwing people, but that's how I look at it. I mean, I started with my rates a little bit below market, and then when I realized, we're going in 1 time where other companies are going in 4 or 5 times, and we're catching the stupid stuff, and when they're getting quotes that, "Oh, you need to replace your whole unit," and we're like, "No, it's like 3 wires that shorted out," and all that bull crap. I was like, screw that crap. I mean, they're still saving money, even if I'm charging exactly what my competitors are, plus the integrity and all the other stuff behind the scenes. I'm like, my customers are still saving a ton of money, and they know it. They've told me that they're saving money, even when I've raised my rates. One of my customers, we handle 5 of their locations that they have in our area, and their facilities guy asked me to please make sure that we're always charging enough so we don't go out of business and we can keep servicing them.
Yeah.
And I'm not cheap by any means anymore.
Right. Everything's just so expensive. They're used to it. And your point is heard and acknowledged, and absolutely true. And my owner said the same thing, right? If we charge exactly what everyone else charges, they're still winning because they're not getting everyone else. They're getting honesty, they're getting integrity, and they know even if they spent more money, every dollar they spent was a dollar that needed to be spent, as opposed to throwing dollars into the wind at the guy who just doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, integrity is my biggest thing. Like, I'm never going to sell someone they don't need. Like, if I put a part on and that doesn't fix it, I thought it was that and I messed up, dude, I'll pull that part back off. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's wrong. I mean, I made the mistake. I'm going to own it. I'll figure out what to do with this part I put on here didn't work, and I'll go from there. But it kills me to see guys that, don't take the time to troubleshoot, or they don't care to troubleshoot, and they just throw parts of stuff. And, I don't know. I don't get it. It drives me absolutely nuts. I'm never going to do anything wrong by the customer. The customer trusts us. The customer wants us there for a reason. And when you do stuff like that, it gives them a reason not to want to use you, not to want to have trust in you, not to have faith in you and your company.
Well, that segues real nice into the real reason I want to come on here and start throwing shade at stuff so there was a lot of, I don't know what happened in the algorithm, but I woke up one morning, I posted that on LinkedIn. I posted a picture of that contactor, and I was like, this was a $7,000, $7,800, whatever the quote was. They needed
$8,000 compressor, and it's a $60 contactor.
If you know me at all, then my whole MO has never been, you should use my company. I'm great. They suck and I'm super. It's always like, I'm a facility manager. Stop trusting people.
Mm-hmm.
I started this company going, I don't think you can trust the service guys. And then I became a service guy, and I'm like, well, okay, it goes both ways. But the reality is still there that I'm always going, just be vigilant, right? Just be vigilant. So I don't know what happened that night, but the next day I had 3 separate LinkedIn interactions, both private and public, of, service company owners explaining to me that I am what's wrong with the service world. Because that was an 8-year-old compressor, and no troubleshooting should have even been done by me. I should have shown up, looked at the date of the compressor, and went, that's a replacement. And
they're the reason people have a bad name, not you.
And his honest position was, people like you are what's wrong with this industry, because why are you fixing a 10-year-old piece of equipment? Because that evil owner is never going to come off his dollars unless you make him. And if a guy like you shows up after 2 other people had him, right? We had him. And then Joe shows up and steals your 30 locations by being honest. And it's like, oh, snap, I hate you. And I don't think these people knew each other. And the fact that they would put a lot of what I just espoused to you in writing attached to their name blows my mind. Because let's just screenshot that and send it to Michigan. So let's just screenshot that and send it to Michigan and go, hey, do you use this guy? Because his position is screw you.
I know someone else.
I love the fact that they messaged you and not me, because
Rich would be like, check this shit out.
100%. 100%. That would have been.
Yeah, and then I did share this one with Rich just because, and I've tried to be above board, right? I'm not going to call them out, but I couldn't. And I know I shared this with Rich. This guy this man said, my technicians see your posts and they feel like they're supposed to be, what was the word? Exceptional technicians, which they're just not going to be.
And not everybody can be that.
You're making it harder for my technicians with your posts. Like, what? How is me saying, do a better job, guys, make your people feel bad, unless that's just the admission that your people know that that's their work? And
what it is it's making him feel bad, or him feel guilty for being a piece of crap. I wish I had that text with me. I'd pop it up here and display it, but I'm not gonna because it's you. Because you asked me to not say nothing about it. You know what I mean? Like, I won't. But there's part of me that wants to be like, you see this scumbag over here? This is the kind of bullcrap he's talking about. But it's because he's got low standards. Because like, I've got high standards, and I've sent your videos to people. Like, here, look, I look on Google. How do you do whatever? Who pops up? Joe. Here, watch this video. This is how you do it.
That.
I'm like, you're pushing people, and I'm like, I push my people. with your videos.
Like, and I've had this conversation with Joe. It's like, I don't always agree with what he does, but I know why he does what he does. And I know why he's trying to take care of his customers. Right. Like, we've had a conversation about some of the fryer stuff where you take all that fancy stuff out and put it. I'm like, I just don't do that because I don't want the liability. That stuff it kind of creeps me out. But I'm like, you're doing it because that's what's best for your customer in this application. So I'm like, I'm not going to knock you for it. It's just like, I'm not going to do that. That's just me personally. I'm not going to do that because I'm not an engineer. That's not me. But I'm like, I know why you do it. And I know your intentions behind it. And I know that you're trying to do what's best for your customer, get your customer running the most effective way you can. But I also know, just like that video, you went out and instead of just quoting an $8,000 compressor, you could have done it and be like, oh yeah, compressor's bad. Here's my quote. I'm $7,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could have got it all day long. Okay. And, but you didn't do that. You fixed what was actually wrong with it. And, you caught hell for it. And it's wild that people would actually do that. Like, it just makes zero sense.
And what's wild to me is this, right? So when you operate with integrity, you have situations like I had with a customer. They called me out to their walk-in freezer was down. It was just a burnt wire that burnt off the compressor terminal, but there was a little bit of corrosion on the compressor terminal. So I fixed it, but I text the facilities guy a picture, and I'm like, hey, it was just this wire, but you're gonna want to watch out for this compressor pretty soon. With this terminal looking like this, you could be screwed on a Saturday. Dude tells me just replace all the equipment. It was like a 13-year-old system, so it needed it. He asked me the age. Right. And when I give him the age, he's like, "Yo, just replace the whole equipment. We're good."
But I'm sure Joe did the same thing. He changed that contactor. Like, look, I changed the contactor. It's pulling proper amperage. This thing was single phase in. It may have been out. This thing may have damage. It may last you a week. It may last you a year. I can't guarantee it, but this is what it's doing now. This is what I did. It's running. You give them options. You tell them the truth. Don't sugarcoat it. This thing could go out tonight. This thing could last another year. I can't guarantee that because I don't know what happened. But this is what it's doing. It's working now. Let's see what happens. That's all you got to do. Give them the options and let them decide.
And plus, July 3rd on an HVAC unit, you get the stupid thing running. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Even if you end up telling them, look, I got you running, but it's a piece of crap. You need to change it. Right. July 3rd on an HVAC unit, you get them running if it's possible.
In Georgia, yeah. In July,
Oh, it's ugly.
That's funny. I mean,
and so a follow-up in that same day, there was an unrelated person hadn't talked to me, and then there was a whole post about the worst technician the most expensive technician you have is the guy who says I'm not a salesman, because that guy's out there fixing stuff instead of replacing the unit. And I chimed in, and I said I'll half agree with you. We need to give options, right? Hey, I got you up and running. That may tap out. It may not. Here's the quote for the replacement. You really want to wait till next summer when it's down, or you want to do it in the fall, get ahead of it. I think that's right. Yeah. And then it degraded to a different private conversation with a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth. And
so here's my question, even though I doubt these guys watch the show, but Pat will post this show and tag you in it. Why the private conversation? If you're so confident in the bullcrap you're telling Joe, why not post it in public on LinkedIn where everybody can see it and judge you? Because I don't have private conversations of that nature. You know what I mean? I put myself out in the public, even if I'm wrong or what I'm saying is controversial. So if you're willing to DM Joe this crap, but you're not willing to post it publicly, you don't believe your own bullcrap.
Right. Well, and then this actually did blow back out into the public forum of LinkedIn, where it was this whole conversation of like the credibility that the service guy has, the salesman wants. And he's like, this is what all I'm saying is we would kill for your credibility. And I'm like, if you had my credibility, you would get to use it once, because you want to use it to abuse it.
Yeah.
So you're going to sell one unit to that dude and then you're done. My credibility lasts because it's consistent. I'm going to give him the value price repairs when I can. And when that unit dies, do you think he's going to get a second quote on my replacement cost?
They never do.
No. And he knows I'm not going to abuse that and be like, well, I can mark it up $1,800 because he's not going to call nobody. He knows the relationship's there. And so I was just shocked. They're like, well, we want your credibility. Like, but you don't want to do what we've done to earn our credibility. You just want to inherit it and burn it down one time and be like, look at all these units I sold.
And the flip side of that too, and I mean, I'm not trying to make this about me or anything, but I've given estimates, and then it exceeds a certain threshold, so corporate requires multiple estimates, and we're $1,000 higher strictly because that's how I price, not because my cost is more or whatever. And they're like, Rich, we will pay the extra $1,000 for it to be you guys that do the work. You don't need to drop it. You don't need to do anything. They'll let me know you won the quote, even though you were $1,000 higher, because people will pay for credibility. And again, I don't take advantage of that. But like, I had a customer one time on an HVAC swap out ask me, he's like, you probably don't want to answer this, but how much are you making, on the unit? I said, I'm making this much. And the fact that it won't change my price. Right. And we were more expensive, and they still said, yo, we'll go with you. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you go out there all the time, you see these bad jobs, you follow up with other people. And I do the same thing. I see it. Unfortunately, I'm in a position where I can't really call people out because I'll get in trouble. It just is what it is. Like, I try to stay positive. I'm trying to be a positive influence in the world. So I don't get, it is what it is. So, but I mean, you want to assume that everyone's doing this they're doing this on purpose. They're doing it out of malice. And, I list a lot of things, and someone said something about Hanlon's razor, and it's like, never attribute malice what can be adequately explained by ignorance, incompetence, or error. You want to assume everybody's doing it on purpose just because of the pure stupidity you see a lot of times. But I think a lot of times people just don't know or don't care to know, and it's easier to do this than to actually do what it needs to be done.
Yeah, the problem is the companies that exploit that to their profit margin, right? Like, don't train your guys to do better, because if they don't do better, we can make more money. Because I mean, that is an actual business model. I could build trust, right? And then I could send out guys that are only 50% of what they should be. And I could make a lot of money because they didn't check the capacitor, but the compressor is not running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of that is on the companies that exploit that. And that's where that you make my techs feel inadequate. That's where that comes from, because they're exploiting the fact that their techs are subpar.
Yeah. And this is a story that I often tell. I was sitting in an ice cream training with two technicians at a Stolting training, and two technicians at the table behind me were talking. We were on a break, and they were like, well, we're the two good technicians, and the other 10 guys who really need to be here, they won't send. And I was like, let me give you a perspective you are not grasping. And I'm going to take them at their word that they're the two good, they're the two riches of the company. I'm like, your company likes your other 10 guys more than you, because they showed up to the fryer and it took them 4 hours. They misdiagnosed it, sold this part they didn't need, went back again, took 3 more hours, finally got it fixed. They built out 7 hours, sold 2 parts they didn't need. You showed up in an hour and a half, diagnosed it right, put in 1 part and went home. Who's the company like more that day? My take on it is these companies need 10 idiots and 2 heroes.
Yeah.
Because if you have 10 idiots running around, they're billing more than the heroes. But you can only push a customer so hard before they're done with it. Yeah. And that's when you need Rich to show up. And then Rich shows up, and he's the mayor, and he shakes hands and kisses babies. He fixes the problem and goes, don't worry, I got you on this one. And man, all of a sudden the reset buttons hit, and we're rolling with 10 idiots and 2 heroes. And
that's a fact.
I can't shake that. That's what I see out here, except the heroes are disappearing. Well, the heroes are, going off to do their own thing, and aggravated that we're surrounded by idiots. I used
to work for a company, and I serviced a lot of McDonald's, and they all had the same electric fryers, and I had the tilting elements. It was before the tubes where it rotated. It had the tilt and a big spring on the back, and the elements would pop up and clang. It had a high limit attached back there, and they used high temp wire going up the back to the high limit. Well, that high temp wire doesn't like to bend, and it breaks right off the terminal. Terminal stays on the high limit, wire breaks off, fryer shuts down, emergency service call. And every single time, dude, I'd cut that wire, I'd crimp it, new terminal on, stick it on there. Dude, my boss is like, you got to start selling those high limits. I'm like, it's not a high limit problem. It's a broken wire problem. It has zero to do with the high limits. He's like, no, you got to change those high limits. Like, I'm not changing that high limit. I was like, if the high limit is fine, I am not changing it. I'm like, I'm going to put a new terminal on there. I'm going to test it and make sure it works. And when it works fine, I'm getting out of there. Well, I really think you need to change those high limits. Like, I'm not going to do it. Like, you can bully me all you want or tell me I need to change the high limit. I'm not going to change the high limit. The high limit's broke. I'll change it. Yeah. But I'm not changing high limit for a broken wire.
No, 100%.
Yeah. So that's the fun of that. And it's similarly, it's funny. I don't think I had an operator, again, Zaxby's is my world, right? And so I had an owner talking to my owner. So my owner who owns my Zaxby's also owns this service company, but lets me operate it. And just in conversation, right? Everyone talks to everyone, and the service. Hey, how's everything going with Joe and the service? And and he said, yeah, everything's great. But I have to say, when Joe's out, it's awesome. When the other guys come out, quality kind of drops off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I mean, one, I've been doing this for 10 years and they've been doing it for 2. So that's kind of an expected conversation. But when I explore that conversation, what I actually find out he means by asking, I need precision. I need to know, because you just told my owner that I have quality control problems. And now I need to figure out what that means. And what he meant was, well, when you show up, it takes an hour and a half to change a high limit and a thermostat and you're gone. And when Junior shows up, it takes him 2.5 hours. So the end result's the same? Yeah. So the culture is the same? Like, he interacts with your people? Yeah. So the only thing you're mad about is it takes him 2.5 hours, it takes me 1. And the answer is, well, that costs me more money. I'm like, right. Like, because I'm good at it, that's everybody wants me. I said, so what if we just be fair and say, well, then Joe's rate is twice the rate of his other technicians. Mm-hmm. You can have whoever you want, but instead of $150 an hour, it's going to be $300 if you want Joe. Well, why? Well, because he's only going to be there an hour. Now it's like, oh no, I don't want that. So it's just so unfair. I feel that for my dudes, because I share all of this with my guys,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how can you expect a technician who's been doing it for 2 or 3 years to just roll in, right? I'm shocked at I've probably been 8 years actually fixing stuff, that at 8 years in, I every day still find out, well, I didn't know that, man. I need to learn that. Like, how? Well, because that's just the way it goes, and it's like, it's just so unfair to these young guns who are good.
Mm-hmm.
That how can you compare them to somebody who's the sensei, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know everything. And that's where you said it earlier, and I meant to jump in at that. That's the YouTube thing where you're like, hey, I don't agree with you, or I think you did it. I have pulled no punches. I did not go to trade school. I've learned this from Hard Knocks and a mentor and wise people on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Going, that's a problem. And I'll go, well, what do you mean? And then it's like, oh, well, I never thought to do it that way. Thank you. That's the best of all of it, and grows everybody. But
yeah, I mean, I've been doing this 20 years and I still learn something new every day. Rich, the same thing. He'd be like, did you know this did this? Or I'll ask Rich, I'll be like, did you know this did this? Yeah, I've known that for years. I'm like, well, I just learned that today. That's some bullshit. I'm like, I mean, it's just part of it. Like,
and that's why I never discount anybody. I mean,
oh no,
I've learned things from PM techs that have no service experience, but their brain just works different. And they're, on a job with me as a helper, and they're like, you ever thought about doing it like this? And I'm like, nah, let's try that way. Oh crap, you done saved me 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
That's why I love teaching and training is I get people that have a different look on things. Cause I've been doing it 20 years. I kind of got blinders on. I just look, but someone that's just come in and, they're 6 weeks in, they're 8 weeks in, they're 3 months in. They see it a totally different way, a totally different angle that maybe I overlooked because I've been doing it so long. And it makes me think and slow down and realize that, oh shit, I don't know everything. This dude just showed me something. He's been here 6 weeks. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, man.
What the hell was that?
A thumbs up? I don't know. It does.
A little thumbs up bubble?
Yeah, it does it sometimes. I don't know. Like, it'll do different ones. I don't know how to do it. Just randomly does it. I don't even know how to turn them off. I don't know how to use this stuff. I just pay for it and use the basic stuff and go with my business. But so, how many subscribers are you up to on YouTube now?
16,000. So it's like 15.9 or something, something like that. So it's again, I tell people who don't know, right? Like I always say, please don't judge me when I meet new operators. Please don't judge me. I am 47 years old. I do not give a crap about social media or being somebody or an influencer. Also, I have a YouTube channel, right? And then because that's like, I don't want people to be like, I have a YouTube channel, and I'm, you know, and I explain why I do it, and you know, that's the huge blessing, and especially like for my new group, you know, it's so great for them. You know, I mean, there was a dumpster fire yesterday at a new location, literally. And I talked to that guy this morning and he was like, dude, I watched that video and oh my goodness, the comments, because it's not just Joe saying, hey man, this is a wreck. It's everyone going, burn the place down, right?
Start
Burn it
over,
down and start over. Right?
Bulldozer, dumpster.
And it's like, listen, we don't, you know, the internet's going to do what the internet does, but it's nice because you get credibility, right? If I'm doing something wrong, they know good and well the internet's going to call me out. And so they know I'm not just telling tales. But yeah, no, the YouTube thing is great. You know, it really, the connections I have with people is, you know, is fantastic.
I keep saying I'm going to get better at it and do it more, and I'll get experts where I do good. And my problem is I start recording and then I just get wrapped up in a repair or like, I work for a big company. I don't want to get in trouble. And, you know, you're in restaurants, everything's branded, everything's this, you know, you got napkins that are embossed, you got cups. I'm cracking up because you're using the cups that says it's a Dairy Queen cup and you're throwing screws and shit in it. And I'm like, this God, man.
We're way past that. So those brands, the brands like me now, right? So DQO, like the Dairy Queen of America, like promotes me to their operators. They're like, hey, because my group, my playlists are broken down by equipment. So I've got electrofreeze, I've got stolting. So they're like, hey, Dairy Queen operator, this is Joe's channel. He'll show you how to clean your machine. He'll show you how to do this. And so DQOA is on board. All of the stuff in the beginning when I was like, oh, I can't show brands. I can't show the custard joint. And we're so past that now.
Yeah.
I protect when needs to be protected, right?
Yeah.
I don't show nasties. The stores I'm showing weren't nasty. They were beat up equipment.
Yeah.
Right.
Nasty, gross stores, I'm not showing. I'm not going to air anybody out like that. And they know it. But as far as the branding goes, yeah, I'm just a loose cannon at this point with that. And well, I'll tell you though, here's what I'm learning, right, from the YouTube thing. It's having a collection of timeless videos, right? So statistically, I make $5 on every fryer video I'll ever make every month forever. Because every month, 1,000 people Google my Pitco fryer won't light, and they'll watch every one of them. So every fryer video I have is worth $5 a month forever.
Yeah.
So on a month when I didn't post any videos, I made more money than I did last month because they're watching a timeless thing. And I never did this for the, I mean, again, it was super cool when it's like, man, I'm making $100. Like there's my Quick Trip money for the, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
you know, but it becomes, you know, a car payment, and then it becomes a car payment and the insurance. And then it's like, this is a real thing. Right. And although I'm not putting into it, right. I'm not like, oh, you know, the people who reach out to you, hey, I can help you grow your subscription. I don't care.
Dude, I get it all the time.
I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And, you know, if it grows, it grows. And if it dies, it dies. And I think it's because I don't care about it that it works, you know.
Dude, I get those emails every day. I love your podcast, but I could do this, this, and this. I'm like, well, if I made a lot of money, I'd hire you, but I don't. So piss off.
Right.
I want to reply that so bad. Most of the time, I'm like, block, ignore. I'm like,
right on.
And they're on LinkedIn too. Like, well, we can help optimize your podcast. We can help optimize your YouTube videos. I'm like, cool. No.
I tell you what I am down with is all of the Chinese product knockoffs who are trying to get into the market who send us stuff, right?
Oh,
hey
yeah.
man, listen, I've got this thermal gun. It's $100, but I'll give it to you if you show it on a video. I'm like, yeah, but I tell them I am happy to try your stuff, but this is on you. If it sucks,
TikTok will do it, dude. TikTok
I'm about to rag you out. And I've got all sorts of cool stuff that it's like, but I think the reality is that's a smart play. You know, I carried a $450 FLIR for a long time. I have a $100 thermal imager that it's not as good as the FLIR, but it does everything the FLIR did.
It does everything you need it to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So now when my new guy needed a thermal, I bought the $100 the deal. So I think it's
Dude,
smart because I don't think we would
my
log.
guys look for one.
Yeah, I'll send it over. But yeah, because I don't think any of us would just go, oh, yeah, I saw that $100 thermal on TikTok. And it looks like a great idea. No, it looks like you're wasting $100. So
No,
getting it
yeah.
into the hands of useful people, it's smart. But
Yeah,
that's-
I had a orange company, not Navac, an orange company send me a leak detector because I made a video bitching about my propane leak detector, and they sent me this thing like, just make a video on it. And I made an unboxing video, and then like let us know what you think about it. And I was like, dude, I tried to find leaks with this thing 6 times and won't find it. And I pull out this one, and it finds it in a matter of seconds.
Yeah,
I was like, do you want me to make a video? They're like, oh no, thanks. Cool.
right.
And then I had there's a company on TikTok they want to send me all kinds. They sent me this meter. It's black and blue. It's
Cobalt.
like no. It's an electrical meter, dude. It's like auto switches. Like, so I was like, oh, cool. Let's check this. Stuck it in the contactor. Switched to AC volts. Stuck. The contactor was disengaged, and I stuck it on the outgoing side to the compressor and like shorted. I'm like, oh, I didn't hit no buttons. Like, that's pretty cool. And then I busted out my expensive, meter. I was like, holy shit, it was right. So I still gotta make a video about that, but it is what it is. I'll make a video, and like either it's good or it's bad. Like, you didn't tell me, how to make the video. You just said good or bad, make the video. So that's all it says in the contract.
That's always my email back. I am happy to show your product, but I'm going to call it like it is. So at this point, you can decide if you want to send it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is what it is. I'll take some free stuff and tear it up. And if it's bad, I'll tell you it's bad. Do you want me to post a video? No. Okay.
I can't figure out what I need to do to get Pack Out on board, man. I can't do any more than I've done.
Milwaukee's a rough one, dude. They don't pay. They'll give you pallets of stuff, but they will not pay, dude.
I mean,
that's all I'm asking for. Pallets of stuff. I don't need that money.
yeah.
Do you follow any of those plumbers on Instagram, dude? They'll come home and there's like a skid in their driveway. And it's all Milwaukee boxes. I'm like, what in the world? And then they go to the Milwaukee, the big event thing up in Milwaukee. I think it's coming up or it just happened. I'm like, holy cow! I'm like, this is wild. Goals one day. Yeah, every time I see your video, your van, I'm like, did someone tag Milwaukee? I'm like, oh yeah, people tag Milwaukee.
Yeah, they don't care.
Just keep tagging them. That's all you can do. One day you'll catch someone on social media and they'll see it.
I think the problem is I have a stack of DeWalt's in my van too, so I'm out. They can't.
No, that's not even the case, dude. Watch these plumbers, man. Like 1 month they're showing off Milwaukee, the next month they're showing off Rigid, the month after that they're showing DeWalt, and now they're showing this brand, and then they're back to Milwaukee. It's like whoever sends them stuff, they just make videos. I'm like, all right, they don't care.
It's funny, and I'd be remiss to say because my mentor and I, we got our vans at the same time, and there's a video of both of us, and so he has a Ford Transit and I have the Sprinter, and mine is the high top and his is the mid. So there's just no way I can fit way more in mine than he can fit in his. But it was a straight up arms race with these pack outs, and we both had 26 drawers in our units, and we called a truce, and then he violated that truce. And so I easily got to 30 and he could not. He just couldn't. I'm like, listen, you're done. I have 30. And let's be honest, I could put 4 more in, but this is ridiculous. And again, and my
Home Depot loves you.
My mentor, my best friend, buy more, save more. It's girl math, man. That's how it works. And my mentor tore his entire van out, everything. And he got 31 in there last weekend. And I was like, are you kidding me? Not that I care. I said, you deserve the W, man. I'm going to a trophy shop. I'm making him a plaque. But I would be remiss to not tell everyone out there, man, like he deserves the win because he had to work way harder for it. I could throw 4 more in and have 34, but he worked it, man. And he deserves that win. So
That's funny.
Yeah.
What else you want to talk about? We're coming up on an hour. I'm sure we'll have a part 4 here in a few months.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to when I say I raise my rates. Yeah, that's always the setup. Just
so Rich gets the satisfaction of seeing it on camera in front of people.
Yes.
So,
no, I mean, I said this the other day, and I'm gonna. This is a scary platform to say it in, right? Because I see Mike was talking about the electrofreeze videos. Man, I was complaining about this the other day. Like, I'm an electrofreeze dude. If you've got an electrofreeze machine, I can go through that menu in my head with you and I can help you.
Yeah.
Because electrofreeze cannot anymore. And I'm sorry to put you on blast like that, but it's like those guys are gone. The OGs are gone, and the guy helping you knows less than you. So send me a message, man. Like, for real, there's nothing more frustrating than getting that call to go work on a machine that you're not confident on.
Yeah, my guys called Joe for Electro-Freeze tech support.
And I'm happy to help, and I'm happy to help. So yeah, I mean, I got nothing, man. I'm just blessed to be
think
here.
Joe knows if it's the middle of the day and he gets a text from me that says, "You busy?" with a question mark.
I love
He
it.
knows what's coming next.
Dude, I'm not an ice cream machine guy. I thought about trying to get into them. There's only one Stolting warranty rep in my area, and I run into him all the time at Culver's. He's like, dude, please get Stolting certified. He's like, I can't do this. He's like, I'm getting too old for this. I don't want to do this anymore. He said, I will give you the contact. I will tell them to call you guys. He said, they will use you. I'm just like, man, I don't know if I want to mess with ice cream machines, man.
They're not really hard though. You just got to. I mean, it's like anything. You know what you're doing, and they're not that bad.
Well, I'm just worried with the Culver's.
Joe, and they're not that bad. Also,
I'm just worried with the Culver's because they're all remote condensed with hard pipe through the wall. I'm like, do I want to mess with this or not?
See, I would rather have a remote condenser all day long than it spreads the crap out. Plus, then I'm out of the kitchen. Hey, you got a problem? I'm gonna be on the roof for a little while.
Yeah,
let's start up there. But
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may take him up on an offer, see what he can do.
There's so few people. He's right. There's so few. We always say there's 1,000 AC guys. There's 100 refrigeration guys. There's 2 ice cream machine men. So, or women, right? So, absolutely, and especially everybody's going to right. Zaxby's. I mean, how many are in your area? But every Zaxby's now has a milkshake machine.
Dude, they're building them everywhere up here. They're pumping them out. We had 1 or 2, and then every time I turn around, I go somewhere else. I'm like, that's another Zaxby's.
And I've got owners. Can you drive 2.5 hours to my 4 stores down? No, I can't. But it's like, but there's no one who can go. Like, they call the distributor and they're like, I don't have anyone who can go. And now what? And it's not a Stolting problem. You call Electro-Freeze, you have the same problem. It's just like, there's nobody who does this. And so, we had our local, I know we're close, our local, one of those manufacturers, distributors, lost their licensing to it. They were the only people who serviced this brand. I owe them everything that I exist for because I created a company because of them. And they were the only person and thought they could do whatever they wanted and pushed everyone away so that people in my area now buy Stoltings because there isn't an Electro-Freeze repair company available. They service Georgia out of South Carolina and Florida because there isn't one here. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. It's amazing what companies think they can get away with or what they think they can do. Just to get comfortable, like you said, they're the only ones there that think they can do what they want. And that's just as bad as, just screwing people on parts. I mean, I don't get people. I'm not a business owner, so I can't really speak on that. You two are business owners, business leaders. And I take things personal. I should take personal just because I want, my name on things, but it's, businesses are rough. They're not easy to do, but it just seems like people get complacent and want to do. They see an easy way to make some money and twist this, do that. So just put your nose down doing the work, man. And I don't like it. I don't care for it.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble one day.
One day.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, Joe. I mean, I have a ton of respect for you. I want to touch on this. I did say, I don't agree with some of the things you do, and just because I'm not an engineer and I'm worried about doing stuff like that. I don't think it's. I think it's. I mean, it's the same chassis, it's the same stuff. I get that, but it's like I don't have that. Working where I work, I don't have the ability to do that. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. But I know that you are trying to do what's best for your customers, what's best for your company, and you're trying to get your customers up and going. And I have a ton of respect for that. I love the fact that you're honest about everything you do on YouTube. And if someone says, hey, you should have done it this way, or hey, that's wrong, and you listen to them, as long as they're not being an asshole, as long as they're not in there calling you dumb or ignorant, like, hey, did you know you could do it this way? Did you know it does this? And as long as people are constructive criticism, I'm 100% for it. But when you come in there and you want to bully somebody or be an asshole, I don't have time for it. I mean, no one's going to take you serious if you approach it that way. If you honestly think your way is better or right, explain it in a way that's respectful and understanding, and you'll change minds. I mean,
yeah. And even the people who do come in and bully, I've always just had the demeanor of asking a better question and never fighting back, right? No, I'm mad. You see, let's bulldog this, but no, and there's been a lot of LinkedIn conversations in the public where then other people were like, good for you, right? Because he was being a lot, and instead of escalating it, I'm trying to win you. That's all. I'm just trying to win you. And most people who fought with me eventually went, oh, okay. I'll be the first to be like, I'm sorry if I poorly represented that. I'm sorry if I misunderstood what you said. I just want to make it easy to be chill. We all just need to be chill, right? As much as, like I said, I don't want to air these guys out. I want to win. The guy who hates me, he's got something to teach me. So I don't want to run him away.
You're
That's
a better person than me, because you come at me and I just troll you. You remember that guy that made that post about me with the meetings, that I'm a crappy business owner and a crappy leader because I'm not big on meetings?
He started on me weeks before that, so he's like just working his way down. I think he just uses people like us to get some attention on LinkedIn.
Well,
and
no, but I trolled the hell out of that guy, and to the point that he was like,
"We're friends."
Yeah, that's true.
Real techs aren't making videos. Real techs are fixing. Real techs don't talk about it. They just do
what
it.
I tell you, real techs lose wrenches, not weight.
Yeah, dude. Like, people are like, "What's wrong with Rich?" I'm like, he's just stirring the pot for the algorithm. I was like, he's just bored. I was like, it's just Rich.
Really what
like,
it is.
It's not serious. I'm like you ought to see the conversations we have in the backside after this. And he's just laughing about it. It's like, it is what it is. Like, you people think there's like drama. There's no drama. It's just dumb shit back and forth.
Right.
That's the funny
I need to start
part.
doing it back to him though.
We just talk so much crap to each other, like in the background in our group chat and stuff, that it just spills out. But yeah, I can see how people on the outside looking in would think something.
Rich and I will have a conversation for a week and not hear from Jason. And Jason's in the chat, and all of a sudden Jason comes in for like 20 minutes and won't shut up, and he disappears for a week again. We're like, what just happened? And he's like gone. He comes and he's gone. I'm like,
and then we both start trolling him.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you saw, again, I'm not a better person. I just am a better person in public, because you saw my LinkedIn title is it's not who I work for. It's that I'm what's wrong with the service industry because I fix stuff. That's what my LinkedIn profile says now, and if people want to ask me about that, I will direct them who to talk to. So
according to this business owner,
I
am the problem with the industry.
I am a little brother of two older sisters, and I am a very good troll of not being in trouble. I didn't do anything wrong. Sorry, that's annoying, but anyway.
All right, guys. I'm going to end it here. Joe, I appreciate you coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you, and I'm going to tag you in everything I put out. But go ahead and shout it out. I think most of these people know who you are and where to follow you, but go ahead. That's your chance.
Right. I mean, I'm Restaurant Repairs on YouTube. Other than that, Joseph is I think I'm Joseph on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you are. You
can find me.
I think we messed up. Joe needs to tag us because he's way more popular than we are on social media. Screw this tagging Joe.
If you really want to, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to help you. But if you really want to have fun, find me on Instagram, because that's the real Joe who you're not going to see on LinkedIn and you're not going to see on YouTube. And then you'll find out what's really going on in my broken head. So, but no, I love you guys, man. I appreciate it. It's always great being here with you.
Yep. Everybody go follow him. If you don't, you're missing out. It's good content. It's honest. It's not edited. It is what he sees. It is what he does. And I love Joe for that, because, we need more of that in the world. So people just showing polished and everything else. So I appreciate it, man. Have a good night, everybody.
See ya.
If you guys would, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the podcast. It really helps us grow and helps us know which direction to move in. Also, if you have any suggestions for guests, please email me at commercialkitchenchronicles@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a guest, email me. Love to have you guys on. Thanks a lot. See you next week.